Hello everyone, welcome to today's daily portrait practice live stream. I'm really happy to be able to be here, to be drawing with you. I really treasure the community that we have here together, and there's something very special happening at the moment with a very big global community. There's a film premiere happening right now and a 7-day gathering with a series of talks and conversations. The film is called The Eternal Song. It's ancestral wisdom for collective healing, and it is something which is super important and it's amazing. I've just been listening to the replay of yesterday's conversations today, and one of the speakers, and someone I have had the pleasure of listening to in the past on the Sounds of Sand podcast, is Lyla June. And here is a very cool image. This month we're focusing on values as in terms of how we use light and dark in the portrait practice. And this is an incredible image, and Lyla is doing incredible things. And I just found a brief introduction. I put the link in the description to the Eternal Song website, where you can join and listen in on this series of conversations, which is really amazing. And also put a link to Lyla's website, lylajune.com. And Dr. Lyla June is an Indigenous musician, scholar, and community organizer of Diné Tsetse Hista Hisi and European lineages. And it's been so interesting listening to what she has to say, and being of European descent myself, and living in Europe, having grown up in what some people refer to as Australia. There's so many interesting things. The whole issue of being able to share and access the ancestral wisdom, the being with nature, the realizing our place belonging to this incredible world that we live in. It feels like it's so amazing that this film is out in such a relevant time, and it's something which is going to exist, and it looks so beautiful. I can't wait to see the film. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I'm listening to these conversations is really as I've been working and drawing and doing things, I'm listening, and it's so deep and so important. And if you have the time and the inclination to join and listen into some of these conversations, then the link to the Eternal Song website is in the description. And it would be really interesting to hear just to be in conversation together, because these are some pretty heavy topics and conversations, and just super important to have it, to have things being transformed and healed in the world. And I think connection and connection to nature and our community, the various scale communities that we have, it's really important to cultivate that sense of belonging and connectedness, which fits really well with yesterday's portrait subject that we're working with. Hello, Ingrid, Kitty, Sandra, and Andrea. I see there are 9 of you here. Say hello in the chat and let's start sketching. This one today, Lyla has had some amazing things to say. You can also, if you go to the Sounds of Sand podcast, you'll find some conversations. I've listened to a few, and I really appreciate so much what is being shared. All right, I think I'm going to start with a pencil drawing, and then I'm going to put in the values with ink, which is a bit different to what I've been doing, where I'm going straight to ink. But I just feel like today it could be a good way to do it. So hello, hola Luis. You didn't expect the live stream right now? Nobody did. I didn't realize until 15 minutes ago that I would do this right now. So here we are. Let's start sketching. It's been like listening to these conversations and just knowing that this film, this community, I feel like the Sounds of Sand, Science and Non-Duality community, which I've mentioned a few times, and we have sketched various people from podcasts I've listened to and books, but there's been so much that has been shared with the sand community that it's really it's a wonderful mix of empowering, confrontational, just ways to feel. Yeah, even though it's listening into conversations, but what is being discussed and shared, it just feels like there's a wonderful sense of connection amongst the a real perceptible sense of being connected in many ways. And something that Lyla said in her talk, which I listened to today, about the various lineages. So being in Europe and of European descent, and was obviously really interesting and resonant for me. And there were things that she said. So since I was traveling, like back in around 2007, I spent a lot of time in nature and connecting to people who were really spending a lot of time in nature. And there were some sacred sites that I visited, and really had a transformative kind of and formative influence upon the direction that things took in my life, which was really interesting, which led me into a deeper connection with music and plants. I was building flutes from the holunder, the elder tree, and it was a phase where I really learned a lot about, or I guess was introduced into an understanding of, there's particularly this place, the Exensteiner, where I met my wife. It's an incredibly old, like, sacred site, and for a very, very long time, there have been celebrations there at the different Jahreszeitfesten, different times of the year. So the solstices, and the first time I was there was like the Beltane celebration, Walpurgisnacht, and it was really incredible to be there, and just a really clear kind of from the people that I met there, this place has existed and has been met at and celebrated at, and people shared time and music and connection there for a very, very, very long time. Like the way predating any kind of Christian past, and there are Christian carvings, and it was also a Christian pilgrimage site. It's a lot that I kind of learnt traveling in different places, especially in Europe, was about this way that the Christian tradition, which is fairly young, really, in the history of the world, which I partially grew up in, that tradition, that it was often the pre-existing traditions of the place, the nature connected traditions, the land connected the people that had knew the land so intimately for such a long time and lived in harmony with the land. There's something that was in the conversation with Lyla today was like there was this time, and this is something that for many years now, Kira and I have been very interested in this idea that there was a time in Europe that predates the kind of the war-torn, violent chapters of history, which many of us know a lot about. And there was a real time of where maybe it was a smaller community and a smaller or a more intimate idea of the world, and just being close, being really connected to the place where you are, which is interesting coming from the other side of the planet and then traveling and being like, oh, what was it like here thousands of years ago, when even a few hundred years ago, when the place where I was born would not have even been an imagining of the people who lived in this land here back then. I'm not sure exactly what I'm trying to say, but just realizing. So this is something I've thought about a lot, and I, having grown up in a land which is still being colonized, and to see the impact that is having. And I've talked about this to various extents in various ways in different live streams. Hello, Ulverine. So that's my drawing. So what's my train of thought? Just to be the feeling of belonging. So I guess that there's a thread going from yesterday and through many of the conversations that many people will be drawing. And if you've been with me for a while, we would have you may know that we've addressed these kind of issues a few times, and it's something that I'm really digesting and being with and thinking about a lot. And this idea that we're talking about yesterday of like the sense of belonging. I'm just going to shift out of this for a moment because I've done this drawing and I've talking about values. There's like the hair shape is incredible. The dark background is great, which is really holds the whole portrait and is bringing it to the forefront, and this mid-tone here and this really light side here. I'm thinking of in these tonal values that there's this darkness of the hair, this wonderful highlight shape here, and this shadow side of the face, this mid-tone here. I'm going to work with ink now and put some ink down, and I'm going to do that now. So something very interesting and very resonant, I think, that Lyla has said is that there, and what I, in my experience of traveling, and of meeting people and learning things and seeing the way that time and cultures have layered. And just meeting so many different people, and there's something that I think about a lot and experience, and kind of really resonates is the interconnectedness that we share with each other and the places that we inhabit and that we are a part of and are a part of us. And that there has been, on this, particularly here, I'm in central Germany, and there is so this was something at the Extensteiner that I was talking about, this really incredible place. Really a beautiful, natural, just a really special place, a power place, of stunning natural beauty, and there's incredible stone formations there. And there was a conversation I had with someone there once, and they're talking about the heaviness in Germany. And this is something Kira and I talked about a lot, that there has been, for such a long time, there's been so much conflict. But it hasn't always been that way. And it's, as we can kind of, and it is I feel like our responsibility, or if we are able to think in that way, to envision the bountiful, beautiful future free of conflict for our for everyone, for all beings. That's important to be able to hold on to a positive vision of the present and future that could be possible. And to know that there have been phases, for some reason, there has been a lot of devastation for a very long time. But it hasn't always been that way. And something, when I was studying architecture in Australia, we had a semester of Indigenous design perspectives, which I really appreciated so much. And in the first lesson of this course, in this semester of Indigenous design perspectives, we were shown like a timeline of the 60,000 years of, I think the accuracy of that number doesn't matter, but the landmass that I grew up on, which is a huge, and there's many nations, has been inhabited for at least 60,000 years, longer, in some way. And the European settler history of that place is just over the last 200 years. And we were shown a timeline, and it's like you can't even conceive of how short a time that it has been a transformative and destructive phase of the history of that land. But it's like it's also like a passing moment. And sometimes it can feel like overwhelming, like there's so much going on, and it's hard to, like, if we're confronted by what's happening in the world and see so much, are aware of so much suffering and disparity and unfairness, it can be, pretty hard to digest. But to realize that it hasn't always been that way, and it's unsustainable, it can't always be that way. And I think I have found that just spending a lot of time in nature and realizing, that we are really part of nature. We are not separate from it. Is such an important perspective and realization. And I feel like in so much, and the sounds of sand is very much resonant with that way of thinking, and it's amazing. Like I can just look out the window here and see the forest, and step out into it, which is I'm really appreciative of being able to do so. And I don't know. There's so much to think about, so much to talk about. I guess just having these conversations and having these thoughts and having a place to listen and learn together and learn from other people's experience. It's incredible that I found, since discovering this podcast and this community, that there are a lot of people sharing their stories, and just find it hugely beneficial. So in addition to this daily portrait practice, if anything that I say about that sounds like it also resonates with you, then definitely check out the link in the description, and check out the film, the Eternal Song, and the Sounds of Sand community, because it's I have found it to be an incredible resource, and a real like hand in hand with the heaviness of so much which is happening. It is empowering, and there's a lot to do, but it's there's an incredible community. There are so many people in so many places and so many beings, and that we can just wonderfully, blessedly share community with, either personally or listening into conversations. It's really a wonderful gift that we have amongst everything else, that we're able to in some way connect. So I feel like the drawing and talking at the same time and trying to articulate what it is that I'm thinking and trying to say about this, it's so big. But I guess what I want to say is I really appreciate being able to listen in and learn together with these conversations. And I'm happy to be able to share it in some way here as well. Hello, Mark. Hello. Thank you for joining today live. If anyone has anything they would like to say in the chat, there are 14 of you here. So please say hello. Please do so. Hello, Ashley. Look who shows up late. But what does it even mean to be late? Because this is early. I'm live streaming earlier than I normally do. I thought I would do it much earlier today, but I didn't. So it's kind of like whenever it happens is exactly when it happens. And if you're here, you're here. Thank you for being here. And I'm glad you enjoy my squeaky chair. So now I've kind of I've got the really dark form of the hair, and I'm going to be able to borrow my ink from there. And there are some, maybe I'll leave that until after, because now I'm going to add some water. I think most of this is kind of done now. Hello, Ike. Hello, so nice to see you in the chat. So nice to see all of you in the chat. So what I'm going to do now is I will take some ink from here and put it on the shadow side of the face. And in this way, it's basically becoming a 3-value portrait at this stage. It's the paper tone, the dark ink of the hair, and this watery mid-tone. And I can just, by wetting that ink, use that to fill in that shadow area. So I got in touch with Maurizio from Science and Non-Duality and said I would love to draw people from the film. So last year, when Where Olive Trees Weep was released, I also asked if I could do a live stream sketching people from the film. And I just, to be able to be present with these people and these stories and their teachings and what they have to share is like a wonderful gift. And so I asked Maurizio if we could draw some people from the film, and Lyla is actually not in the film, but she was talking today at the gathering. And I have her words have really moved me, what she's had to share in the past as well. So listening to her today, I thought it would be really lovely to spend some time dwelling on what she's had to teach and share. So I think in the coming days, because there's a 7-day gathering with lots of conversations which most of it's happening while I'm asleep, so I'll probably mostly be listening to replays. But I'm so glad that it's happening, and that we have the opportunity to listen in, to witness and learn, and just be present with what people are sharing. And there are many wonderful Indigenous voices. The actual film, I think, there's maybe 12 different places on this planet which were visited over the course of 3 years and filmed at, and it's pretty amazing. And it just looks, I haven't seen the film yet, but it looks really beautiful. Just the trailer. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And I think there's, just in terms of a huge creative act, and how powerful creativity can be, and art, like just the films that are being made. Also, Where Olive Trees Weep was just so devastating and beautiful, and to be able to package that in this creative format, such important, heart-wrenching and empowering kind of questionings, because it's not solutions that are being presented. It's not like, here are the issues and this is how it's going to be fixed, but it's opening up a space to talk about such things. And I know from my own experience that there are a lot of spaces where there's not even thought or awareness, or I feel like as I was younger, that was the case. Like, I remember being taught at school that Australia was settled, which is a very calm way of expressing something very beautiful, brutal, and dispossession and violence. To say settled, what a funny use of language. I think the process of settlement is very unsettling. And I remember learning at school. I remember my teacher. I can remember the moment and saying, about 200 years ago, Australia was settled. And then it's like, to learn later, it's like, oh, like what does that even mean? And to come to terms with the fact that, the tremendous violence that took place to establish this penal colony, and establish a nation and a set of rules, and I don't know. There's a lot I have to be thankful for my family and the place I was able to grow up. But when you kind of confronted with what it all means, even though I was not witness to these things, but it's like, oh wow, what's it's all still having that. There's this settler mentality, just the sense of entitlement to be able to go to the other side of the world and steal everything. That kind of attitude is still causing problems today. So even though it's not clear solutions, like, here, look at all of this, and this is what we can do about it, it's just opening the conversation to be like, it can be different, it has to be different, and it can be different, and I'm very thankful for that perspective. Hi Gretchen, great news. Great news, incredible person. Thank you, Lyla. I'm almost finished for today. So thank you for all that you've had to share, Lyla. And if any of you feel called to watch the Eternal Song and listen in to the series of conversations which are happening right now, I think there's probably even one happening like right now. For the next 6 days, these conversations are going to be taking place, and we have the ability to tune in, listen to what they have to say and what's being shared, and it's pretty special and amazing to be able to do so. So I'm really thankful for everyone involved, for everything that's being shared. And I'm thankful to all of you for being here and sketching with me every day. So I think that's it for today. Hey, Oliver, so please put your drawing hand emoji in the chat. Thank you so much, Lyla. Everyone can go check out Lyla June's website. I've also been listening to Lyla's music today, and it's really amazing. There are so many incredible, multifaceted beings sharing so much and doing so much, and it's truly an inspiration. And so yeah, thank you, Lyla, and thank you all for being here. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Join the Discord server, by the way. You can get the references and share your work in the Discord server. And I just reached 5,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So thank you to each and every one of you who are here. Hand and pen can be so powerful. Music like Koyanisquatsi, Life Out of Balance, Pawaquatsi, Life in Transformation, Nakoyaquatsi, Life as War. I will look into that. Thank you, Ashley. It can be, music is so powerful. So much is so powerful, creation. And I wonder somehow, this is our thing that we share together. We sit here and we look at something and we draw. And I was thinking about it today, that like everyone, that there is this creative potential in all of us. And whether it's music, it's gardening, writing, poetry, dance, movement, cooking, there are so many forms of creative expression, and they can be so gentle and so powerful at the same time. And it's something I think about a lot. Like, what is it that we all have an ability to tap into and to practice, and this act of looking, which we are all in some way devoted to. Like, I wonder what is that process and that act of intense looking and observation. It's a very, very interesting and wonderful thing to be able to share. So thank you for sharing it with me. Have a good day, everyone. Soup, bread and cheese are very powerful indeed. Petra, I'm glad you appreciated the thoughts. Thank you everyone. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, please do. And just thank you for being